What's up, Reds? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Kyle. With me today is a very special guest, George of Bayern Now. I wanted to bring him on so you guys have another source of like what the Thiago saga sounds like on the other end from Bayern's point of view. So, George,
Right,
thanks for coming on the show, man. How you doing?
right. I'm doing well. Well, first of all, Liverpool decided to not be broke anymore and frugal by taking Thiago. Yeah, look, it's, you have to come to terms in reality with it. I kind of made my peace with it when he lifted the Champions League because, for me, he's literally my favorite player in the squad just because of how he plays. And I wear the number 6 on my jersey with my name on it because of him. So, that, in itself is just really cool. So, if he wants a new challenge and he wants to leave, I'm completely fine with that, and I hope to talk about it more.
Yeah, and he's been with y'all for what, 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since 2013.
Yeah, and he's put in a really good tenure with y'all.
Right. He came in as an attacking number 8, but he was too overpowered for that. So he slowly just dropped deeper and deeper. And now he's like a CDM. And he's probably just up there with the Casemiros and the Kantes for tackling and all these other things. So
yeah.
He does.
I'll be honest with you, and this is another reason why I brought you on. It's good to have your insight. I've really only been watching him since the link started. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah. And but to be honest with you, even in the games I've seen, namely the Champions League final, and then was it Barcelona? Right. Yeah, Barcelona 8-2. How could I forget?
Right.
It's just unbelievable what he's able to do on the ball, and his thought process. It's very instinctual on the field.
Right. Yeah. Thiago, the thing with him is, I think a lot of people just think of, he's Spanish Brazilian, so he must just be like this attacking midfielder. Yeah. So he's actually not. He's a real CDM, and his defensive ability. Last season, he carried us. I think we had the worst coach we've ever had. He was a real terrorist. He made all our players. He made Matt Hummels want to leave. All these other things. He made the youngsters terrorize. He terrorized everyone. Real bad person. No, not a bad person, but he just wasn't a good coach or manager. But Thiago carried us. He carried us to every single win. I think with Thiago, we won, 90-something% of our games. But without Thiago on the pitch, we didn't win a single game. So we either drew or lost. So it just shows, his ability on the ball. He can move, control the tempo. I call him temperature because of that. He just controls that tempo. And he just, the thing with him is he drops in between the center backs, which Liverpool don't have with Fabinho, because he can't really be that kind of metrodome, right? Moving the ball side to side and trying to penetrate into the final third. And that's what Thiago would do. That's just how he, plays.
Yeah, that's actually interesting you bring that up, because you're right. Fabinho is very limited, actually with the ball at his feet pushing forward.
Right.
However, if he does get the ball in the final third, he can finish. We've seen some screamers from him. But yeah, and I think a lot of people think that Fabinho may be used, or at least from what I'm hearing, a lot of people think if Thiago ends up coming in, and we'll get to what you're hearing on your end in a minute, but Fabinho would be pushed back and actually be a backup center back, which I don't see. Fabinho is, like you said, he's a player that's going to sit right in front of those two center backs, Van Dijk, Gomez, swing it side to side, and we've even had it to where it's funny, Matip will actually push forward instead of Fabinho. Like Matip is actually halfway decent with the ball at his feet.
The ball forward, right? And tries to get into the final third. Yeah,
it's scary. It's scary. I'm not gonna lie, but
I've seen him. I saw him against Barca. He's probably the best center back on the pitch versus Barca at Anfield. He was just absolutely everywhere.
Very underrated.
Yeah, the thing is with Thiago, I think he doesn't really want to be a number 8 type of player. And with Kimmich coming in, I think for him, he was probably like, well, Kimmich is the new, guy. He's the new toy. All the fans love Kimmich and how he plays. Kimmich is pretty much overpowered. He can do everything. So, Thiago wants to be the CDM. He wants to be the tempo controller. So with Kimmich, when he came in, Kimmich is probably just his passing range. Thiago is a better passer, but Kimmich has a longer passing range. I know that sounds a little bit weird because Thiago, his technique with passing, that's what I'm trying to aim at.
No, and just 2 games watching, I've seen it.
Right.
I know what you're saying.
Right. So maybe Thiago thought, okay, well, I want to go to a club where I can be, the actual tempo controller, because Kimmich is our tempo controller now. So maybe at Liverpool, you can see him being I don't know about Fabinho or what Klopp wants to do with him, but he fits Klopp's system, Fabinho. So I don't know how they'd work with that. Maybe rotational then.
Yeah, and it's just there's so many variables.
Or just a type of game. So if you're playing like a Crystal Palace, or just a type of game. So if you're playing like a Crystal Palace or as Atletico Madrid, like you played, they're just going to sit back and try to see if you can break them down. Maybe that's where Thiago could be the real key, because then he's there to move the ball into the half spaces so that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's great you bring that up, because seriously, we've seen an evolution of since Coutinho left. He was our magician, our creator. Once he left, that's when the fullback duo really just kicked off. I mean, it was like perfect timing. Trent started to hit his form, so that's how Klopp creates. But it's interesting, because I completely agree. Thiago plays, he's going to be that player that can break down defenses, the Burnleys or whoever sits super deep. So I know you said he's your tempo controller, but you said Kimmich is your tempo controller now too?
Right. So Kimmich now plays a lot deeper than Thiago. So whenever Kimmich and Thiago play, Kimmich would be the main guy to move the ball around the back. Well, they take turns, dropping deep between the center backs to try and move the game around and try and make it more fluid. They take turns, but Kimmich is, I guess, the new midfielder that we have now, right? I mean, I don't know if you watch Kimmich that much, but he's pretty much overpowered anywhere he plays. 5 goal contributions in the last 4 games in the Champions League, because he came back to right back because Pavard got injured, and then that meant Thiago came back in.
Right.
But I mean, look, for me, Thiago is just absolutely, like, he can do everything except shoot. He can't shoot. He won't do that. Like, you won't see him banging shots outside the box. He just never really does it. So Kimmich is our tempo controller now, which sometimes means that Thiago, he gets more freedom on the ball. So maybe that could happen to Liverpool, where maybe he won't be on the ball as much, but when he is on the ball, he has the protection of a Fabinho next to him. And then he can push forward with the ball, take it forward, and try and break teams down. So that's maybe what could happen. I don't know, how Klopp will use them.
Yeah, honestly, I think because Fabinho wouldn't move anywhere. That's the thing. Like, I don't see him at right back. So if he did come in, that's most likely what would happen. He would be that person that breaks him down. But as far as, the rumors, I did a video yesterday, and I'll put a tag or a card up top for everyone to check that out as well. The news that I'm following, it's really just like Liverpool are interested, and they haven't approached Thiago. All right. It's but Liverpool are denying it, but then all the sources that are associated with Bayern, at least Christian Falk, Fabrizio Romano has his foot in the door a little bit. He's confirming the negotiations are going on. What can you tell me from your end?
Well, I know for a fact that no negotiations were going on, because Bayern pretty much stopped all transfer dealings within this Champions League campaign. We wanted Max Aarons. That went quiet because we were in the Champions League. Our entire board were watching us play the Champions League campaign, so they wouldn't be sitting in their hotel rooms in the middle of the night, Michael Edwards calling to try and get Thiago for 10 million. But that wouldn't be the case.
10 million.
Yeah, I know. That's what Liverpool would try. So I know for a fact, that no negotiations.
You're not telling me anything new. Yeah, trust me.
Right. So right now, I think this is where Bayern's board director, chief executive just came out, Kalin Jurmanija. He came out and just said that Thiago has a club, and I'm sure that's Liverpool, and that club has to come to Bayern. So that's pretty much him saying Liverpool aren't approaching us. I'm sure Bayern want to get this quickly, because we don't really like this whole process where we wait. But we like getting things done quickly, because we have an actual squad to plan. We want to keep winning the Champions League and get to the final again. So maybe that's where Bayern's trying to push Liverpool, because maybe Liverpool are saying, we're not, if you don't lower your price, we won't come up to you. But then Bayern is saying we won't have a summer sale. So I think what's going to happen is, if Liverpool want Thiago, they're going to have to pay the money that Bayern want, because Bayern wouldn't really need the money. We would be totally fine with letting Thiago leave for free in January.
Of course,
because we don't. I mean, it's not like we're going to spend it on anyone. We're not going to spend the money. So right now, I think what's coming out of Bayern is that Thiago wants to leave, and apparently he pretty much said his goodbyes. Not literally, but he pretty much, signaled that, this could have been his last game for Bayern 2 days ago. So now we're just waiting for Liverpool to come in and pay the money that Bayern want.
Yeah. Oh, and congrats, by the way. I know I sent you a message in private, but I mean,
Europe.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool definitely taking off their perch again.
Yeah, well, hey, it was bound to happen eventually. We can't win them all, right?
Right.
Yeah. But at least it's not a Man United or someone else doing it.
Yeah, speaking of the other, I'm actually, like, if Thiago leaves, like I told you before, I made my peace with it. Like, he won the Champions League. So, but he's going to Liverpool, and that's not as bad as going to Man City, because in the back of my head, I'll just be thinking that he'll be making $300K a week. That's all I'll be thinking about.
Right.
But with Liverpool, like, I'm like, okay, well, you're going to Jurgen Klopp, really likable guy. I'm really waiting for scandals to come out about Liverpool players so I can have something bad to say about them. But yeah, I don't mind Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. We've obviously had our shortcomings in the past, but I mean, every club does. You know what I mean? But I completely agree with you. I think I have respect for Bayern Munich. I mean, the way they're run, I'm so glad PSG didn't win that final. I can't stand Neymar, but we won't get into that. We won't get into that. Yeah. So the big thing for me, and I spoke about this on the video again, like I said, is the price. Like, Liverpool are stingy. Isn't the good word? Because frugal, thrifty. I like to use thrifty. Mm-hmm. I think thrifty is a good word. Because
thrift shop.
What's that?
Thrift shop.
I mean, honestly, because if you look at what we did with the left back situation, right?
I don't know Wi-Fi password. Never heard of him, but I'm sure he'll just turn into the next Marcelo or something. He's a left back, right?
Yeah, left back. Seriously, I had never heard of him. Okay, I did watch when I was watching Wolves in the Europa League. I did see him, but I didn't put two and two together because the news didn't come out. But Norwich wanted $20 million or something for Jamal Lewis.
Right.
And Michael Edwards was like, no, he's not worth 20. We're looking to, if Origi's going to get sold, we're looking at 20 or 25 for Origi. Why would we pay that for a left back? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
and you won't pay 20 million for Jamal Lewis, who you actually need.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and that was a whole nother thing. But another thing that you did bring up, so Bayern like to get Bayern like to get transfers done quickly, like you said.
Right.
It seems that every transfer that Liverpool have done, at least in the last couple of years, it hasn't dragged on. So like the Jamal Lewis links came out. We got the news that the bid was rejected. Within 2 days, Tsimikas had his medical and he was a Liverpool player, right? You look at with I think the only one that dragged out was maybe Allison, right? But with all the reports saying that Bayern weren't going to start negotiating until after the Champions League, okay?
Right.
Now that the Champions League is over, what's the timeline that you give this, right? Because Bayern wants to get it done, but I know you said we want to approach you guys. So what's the timeline? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
Right. So I think it's September 14th. We actually have our first professional game back. So I think this should be in the next 2 weeks then, because that's pretty much it. Because we can't be going into the season. I know the transfer window is open to October 5th or something.
Yeah,
we can't be going into a season and Thiago leaves, and then because no, that won't happen, because you just need to have your squad, and Flick is so on this. I don't know if it's what's it called? If you do one thing and then you think it'll always work, you wear the same sock every game. What's that
superstitious,
called? Yeah. Right. Hansi Flick has to be like that. He wanted the exact same players like Coutinho, Perisic, or Drizzle. He wanted them to stay and extend their loans so they could be in the squad, to help us win the Champions League.
Yeah.
Because he's superstitious like that. So I don't think he'd want Thiago to leave in the middle of our playing season. Not middle.
No, I don't think really anyone would. You know what I mean?
Right. So
and he's obviously doing something right. Because what do you guys have? What did you have? 2 losses maybe the whole year?
2 losses, and they were weird losses.
Yeah.
Weirdest. We played better, but you just can't score everything. So that's what happens. So I don't think this would drag on. If Liverpool want him, they have to come in for him, pay the money, and then Bayern just let Thiago go. And I wouldn't mind it. but I would also wouldn't mind it if he leaves for free. Like I would absolutely love him to stay. I'd love the negotiations, the breakdown. I love the sad face. I would love everything that. Yeah, I mean that's me being serious. But yeah,
no, hey,
so
no one's gonna fault you for being honest. Like for me, it's like I'm at a point now where Liverpool are being so consistent that even if the Thiago transfer falls through and if he ends up going somewhere else, I'm not going to worry about it. Right now, it's exciting, right? Because everyone wants Thiago to come in. Why wouldn't you want a world-class player to come in?
Right.
But same, like, good example, like you said, you wouldn't mind if he left on a free. Lallana, great serviceable player. When he left, it's like we almost like forgot about it. You know what I mean? So I think I'm kind of the same way. But what do you think of these other links? The Man City one was like there for like a day. There was also one that said Arsenal was in for him.
PSG. Why would Thiago would not leave Bayern for Arsenal, Man United.
No,
I think he's 29. Yeah, he's 29. Why would he want to go to a project where it could take 3 years? He wants to go to a club that's at the same level as Bayern, but he'd probably be the main man in midfield. So that's pretty much him. Because he's 29 now. Next April he's 30. He's gonna have maybe 2-3 years left at the top, like as a world class midfielder. Right. Because midfielders, they go down pretty quickly because
unless you're James Milner.
Yeah, unless you're Milner, then you just never expire. So So with Thiago, he wants to move now. So I mean, if you're Liverpool, you should be wanting to do this as quickly as possible because Thiago is going to turn 30, and then would Thiago want to go to Liverpool next year? He wants to go now because of the timing and everything works. So
yeah, it is perfect timing. The only logical thing for me is one, the space in midfield. Do we need to get rid of Grujic? I'm so in the camp of keeping Wijnaldum. It's not even funny. I don't think we should sell Wijnaldum. If he wants to leave on a free, that's fine. You did excellent here. Go ahead. You deserve it. But we got to get rid of someone, I think, or send someone out on loan. Grujic, we got to sell Grujic. The only other thing is I can think of, we got the Community Shield coming up, I believe, this Saturday. And then there's a little bit of a break until the start of the season. So I could see us waiting until the Community Shield's done and then getting some business, then worrying about it. Because we just finished up training camp. I don't even know if it's actually done yet. But, that's a big thing. He missed training camp, but he was playing in the Champions League.
Well, you're back drawing with Salzburg, so that's good to see.
Don't remind me. Hey, but Ryan Brewster, incredible.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of Ryan Brewster? Yeah,
no,
I don't blame
absolutely.
you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, is he like the next Mason Greenwood for Liverpool?
Honestly, that's kind of a good comparison. He's nowhere near as productive as Ryan Brewster, but no, Ryan Brewster's got a lot of potential. He's kind of who's that guy? Cuisance? How do you pronounce it for you guys?
Mikel Cuisance.
Cuisance, yeah. Like young, promising player, but he was at loan at Swansea City, which is a championship side.
Right.
And he had 11 goals. So, I mean, he was productive, and they were good goals.
Right.
So, but yeah.
I mean, speaking of Cuisance, he's probably so happy that Thiago could leave because he's pretty much a like-for-like type player. Mm-hmm. He has the potential, not saying he would, fill his boots in the first year, but, we bought him for, 8 million for a reason. So he could fill into those shoes. Gladbach didn't even want to keep him. They're making fun of him, they hated him. They didn't like him. So he came to Bayern, and it's been a year, and he actually got more minutes at Bayern, 381 minutes and 379 at Gladbach. So, yeah, he made an improvement of 2 minutes.
There you go. That's progress, right?
Good for him. So, yeah.
So I do appreciate all your insight. And one thing I did want to close off with is, what does Thiago, how do you think Thiago would impact Liverpool as a third party, unbiased, right. I mean, maybe a little biased, but unbiased, fan? What do you think would change given Liverpool just had an excellent season? It's hard to top it. What do you think he would bring to the side?
Well, everyone thinks creativity, and I think that's true, but it's really just, the only way you create chances is through Alexander-Arnold and Robertson spamming crosses in. Well, a lot of the time they work, but it's true. You get the ball out wide with them in space. Salah and Mane are tucked inside. to create space, and you whip it in. Van Dijk switches, Mane, bang. It's the same tactic. So with Thiago, it brings a little bit of unpredictability in midfield, because he would bring that weird pass that no one was expecting, or he'd be on the edge of the box, or he could win the ball, with his little weird tackle that he likes to do, just come up and then just get the ball, and then he could play it to Firmino, and then maybe the Brazilian sauce with Firmino and Alisson might finally start actually being real. And then the thing is, Firmino might actually start scoring goals for once, and he won't have an embarrassing record like 0 goals at Anfield or something like that.
Dang, man. That's harsh. Firmino's an excellent center forward.
Well, he is. Just how can you not be scoring goals? And so he could definitely bring that, link-up play. And his movement of the ball in between the lines, breaking the lines, defensive teams. I think you saw it against PSG.
Yeah.
He had so many situations where he just passed between the PSG midfielders. So if he's passing to Firmino and Firmino holds the ball, he can turn. And you get the whole thing, because the only way you move the ball into the final third is Alexander-Arnold gets it, in-swinging ball to Firmino, and then he's passing. So you could avoid all that, pass quicker, and move the ball quicker, and then pressure alleviating. In the midfield, everyone wants to press now. They're just remote controllers. So they all want to press. They all want to be intense. Every single team wants to disrupt. But so Thiago just turns. He does this sweet turn where I don't know how he does it, but he just calculates everything. There's a little turn, and then he's off like 3 players, and then he can move the ball quicker. So that's what he brings to that Liverpool midfield that you don't have.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. We either feed, because Firmino likes to drop deep. We've seen it a little bit with Keita, and when Ox is healthy, he's able to sometimes break down the midfield and push forward. But you're right. It's swinging it outside. Trent pushes the line and then puts something into the box. It's very rare that we break a team down on the ground in the middle of the field. Usually, like you said before, it's Van Dijk putting a long ball over the top, or Fabinho putting a long ball over the top, something like that. So, and what's remarkable to me, and this I'll sum it up here, Jurgen Klopp's ability to adapt his team based on his players. Like, that's what the main concern was when he came in, was, is he going to be able to adapt to the Premier League? And then when Coutinho left, people were like, how is he going to change it? And really, it was like, people were like, we need a Coutinho replacement. We have never gotten a Coutinho replacement, and we've been completely fine.
I mean, that would be, did you buy Salah for the money that Coutinho
Yes, what was it? It was Alisson and Van Dijk, actually, were the 2 players. Yeah.
Oh, dang. Great like-for-like replacements right there. Center back and
amazing. Honestly, our goalkeeper situation was horrible for, not horrible, but it was bad for 5 years. And then Alisson is just a different beast.
Yeah. Making the same mistakes, in front of goal, just kicking it to red. Okay, well, actually, speaking of that, playing out of the back, Liverpool aren't really that much of a technical team playing out of the back. I noticed you get pressed a lot. Against Napoli, Van Dijk just made this weird error. I always thought, playing out of the back, you play it to Alexander. There's always this sweet ball he does, like it's across
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Right.
Yep.
So, now you could actually play out of the back if you had Thiago or a Naby Keita, because they actually have the ability to carry the ball through the pressure. And speaking of, why don't you just keep him? Why do you want Thiago so bad?
This is what I'm trying to figure out, because Klopp, his transfers always like roll eyes sometimes. It's like, we have a lot of good scenes. I love Keita. I am like Keita's biggest advocate. But one thing, Ox just got injured. Okay, so Ox is out. Lallana left. Okay, Milner's not getting any younger. So, and Curtis Jones is still a little bit young to where, can he produce consistently week in and week out? So maybe he just wants Thiago for, like you said earlier, maybe rotation, maybe to come in and, break down a Crystal Palace or something, there's obviously a reason, but Liverpool are very low key ever since Klopp came in about what they're doing. We didn't even know Fabinho was coming in until he literally held up the shirt. No one had any idea.
No one had any links to him. Everyone was linked to him, but Liverpool.
Everyone, literally, Man United were scouting him for years. Like, seriously. But I do think that the point you said, us playing out from the back, we saw it against Arsenal. Granted, we were hungover, Like Arsenal completely just won that game because of our mistakes. Allison and Van Dijk, actually. But yeah, Napoli too. So maybe this will improve that. But George,
he inherited his inner David Luiz Van Dijk.
Yeah, no, nowhere near that bad. Oh,
yeah. Okay. What was the last thing?
No, man, that was it. Unless you have anything you want to add, bro.
I hope, well, the transfers break down. I hope that happens. That's me saying it for sure. I hope it does break down. But yeah, I mean, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Merseyside people would love that.
Yeah, and, absolutely, man. I just appreciate your insight. And yeah, thanks for coming on the show, guys. And go over and check out Bayern Now. Great channel. Pretty much live streams every day, right?
Right.
Yeah, good stuff, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time, Reds, take care.